Ostracized because I drew my boundaries with the wrong words. I work in a team environment and we have a lot of downtime between duties. People watch TV, play cards, bring potlucks, and generally spend all day socializing. Not my vibe, but I don't hate. I think it's cute they all have their little cliques and clubs. It's just not for me. I'm not rude about it, but I like to sit outside with headphones on and spend my time drawing on my iPad. The break room is too crowded. Everyone's lunch smells terrible. The TV is always blaring with either sports or war crimes. And everyone is talking about their drama. It's a bit of a personal hell in there. I'm not unliked at work. And I am friendly with people as we do our jobs. I've been invited out for dinner, drinks with the team before, and never found it difficult to decline with a "no thank you" or "oh, not tonight, thanks." This time, 4 people from the team came outside to my table and stood next to me until I took my headphones off. I'm having a wedding announcement party at my place tonight. Dinner and drinks are already there, so you just have to show up, said the leader of the pack. Oh, sorry, not tonight. Thank you, I said with a smile. I went to put my headphones back in when another from the group protested, "We've worked together for years, and we invite you all the time. Why don't you ever come out with us?" Quote, I didn't have a response. I just didn't want to. I don't want to go to a social event if I don't enjoy socializing. I was on the spot and everyone was looking at me waiting for my answer, because we're coworkers, not friends, is all I managed to shake out of my mouth. Now I can feel the tension at work. Nobody talks to me anymore. They've even stopped saying, "Good morning," which I generally would be okay with. But it's the sudden transition. I can tell they're all feeling some sort of way about me now. I guess I'll just continue to do my job and mind my business. People should really calm down with their feelings at work. We didn't know each other when I started, and we're not going to know each other after I leave. Just keeping it professional. Edit. I'm not upset that they're leaving me alone. I prefer it. I guess I'm just making the observation that they got so turned over a simple boundary. Sucks for them. They should leave their feelings at home. This is less anti-work and more anti-co-worker. You wanted them to leave you alone. They are leaving you alone. The notion that I keep work separate from my personal life is such a double-edged sword. It's true that the people you work with do not have to be your friends. You are not obligated to spend time with them and associate with them outside of your working hours. That is a valid boundary. Unfortunately, the reality is that this costs you a rapport with the people you work with. Number. You don't have to hang out and drink after hours, but it's like any relationship you have with any other person. When you choose to do these things together, you invest in each other. Ideally, y'all will get along and it becomes easier, if not more natural, to support each other in the workplace. I've worked in environments where most people stick to that boundary, as well as environments where people don't necessarily have that boundary. I have to say that I feel much better in an environment where people aren't afraid to be copacetic. It makes me feel like I can rely on them and I want to do the same in return. Well, yeah. You just told a group of people they're not your friends. Do you expect them to keep being friendly? Ostracized? You don't have any interest in being friendly with them. And you've made it clear. Why would they want to talk to you? You're allowed to have boundaries. And they're allowed to have opinions about you because of it. Easy fix. Hey, I'm sorry about the other day. I'm introverted and really try to establish boundaries between my work and private lives. I'm sorry how I replied the other day. And thank you for considering me for the invite. I was caught off guard and didn't know how to phrase it appropriately. I do enjoy having you as coworkers and I hope you won't hold this event against me. Or, Just keep posting on Reddit about it. I'm also on the spectrum, and what you describe is relatable. Let's think of it from their perspective. The person who invited you to their wedding announcement was making an effort to include you and get to know you better. They had a major life event, wedding announcement, and they wanted you to be a part of it. When you rejected their invite, you also reframed your relationship to exclude the possibility of friendship. For some people, this might feel like a mean-spirited rejection. Instead of essentially saying, "I don't want to be your friend," you could say, "It's not you," and explain that large social groups are uncomfortable for you. Maybe you'll be too anxious to have a good time. Maybe you'll risk having a panic attack and passing out. If you're comfortable sharing that, anyway, they might try to pressure you anyway. We'll have plenty of alcohol. It's a social lubricant. You'll be fine. Quote, is this just a venting post? Because based on your responses, it doesn't seem like you're interested in solutions or in hearing that you're potentially in the wrong here. Seems like there have been some pretty solid, polite responses and you just keep digging your heels in. I guess I don't get it. People should really calm down with their feelings at work. Take your own advice, friend. It kind of sounds like a cultural thing. They probably expected you to participate anyway and were shocked that you refused. If anything, it's a learning experience for you to be more diplomatic. You can come up with an excuse to use whenever they come up to you. TBs. It sounds like they may have given up on trying to include you in the social group now. The phrasing op should have used was, "I like to keep my work life and my social life separate." That's no help to OP, but it's a common enough situation that other people should have that phrase ready to go. This is a mistake I made once at my first job. I didn't word it the same way but the same sentiment. It was more of a, "Nah, I don't want to go out. I'm an introvert and it's hard for me to socialize and I don't really know you all and I don't think we really have all that much in common. I'd bore you," basically. Which was true but just a more polite way of saying what you did. I would go out from time to time, like once every 6 months, with them, but it was always drinking in bars and normally I asked them since they knew that was my preference on socializing. I had started having seizures just before I started, so I just had to say once, "Yeah, I'm epileptic and can't drink with the meds, but thanks," and no one made it a thing afterwards. You said further down the thread that you're autistic. Have you thought about telling them? You don't have to tell them your life story, just say, "Hey, I'm sorry for the way I came off the other day, but I'm autistic and social interaction isn't a thing I'm good at or a thing that's good for me due to. Congratulations though, and I hope you all had fun." You don't have to be friends with anyone, but you can act like a decent person. That means pretending to be happy for people when something good happens, wishing them well or giving them your condolences if something bad happens in their life. You give off the vibes that if someone's relative died and they're all signing a card for them, you'd say, "Why would I sign this? None of you mean anything to me and why would I care about some person I've never met?" Quote. Sure, that's probably true, but just pretend you're a human being. Frankly, a lot of the "I go to my job. I don't interact with anyone in any capacity whatsoever and will refuse interaction unless it's literally necessary to do my job as per the exact requirements based on the job posting that I have hanging up at my desk." Posts you see on here are from people with a personality disorder, but they just don't realize it. We had a new nurse come to work for us and the first thing she said to everybody was, "I'm not here to make friends." 6 months later she was sitting in the boss's office sobbing and saying, "Nobody likes me." Quote. You were rude to them and now they're acting like you've been rude to them. I think it's worth clarifying to them that you just don't like to socialize and that it's nothing personal. Just my 2 cents to help keep the peace at the office. Are you acoustic? I mean, they're treating you like a coworker, not a friend. Sue, what's the problem? I think you actually do care. I mean this with kindness. But do you generally have trouble understanding social norms? Have you ever talked with a therapist or counselor about these types of situations? Because I think most people would interpret your actions as rude, even if it was not intentional. And you seem surprised by it. Part of saying, sorry not tonight, today, leaves you open for future invitations. There's a way you can tell them, the coworkers, that you enjoy them at work and appreciate them. But once you're off the clock, you prefer to spend your downtime privately.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.